It is quite unfounded to talk about death in an amazing digital circus, not only because it is created for people of all ages, but it is also practically impossible to die here. Or it is still possible. Hello everyone, Digital Circuit Theory is in touch. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and we're getting started. And finally, the time has come to raise this topic, and at the same time return to our favorite section on the channel. Naturally, we will affect not only ordinary people, but also NPCs. After all, they get the most, and it turns out that they really die. Perhaps they have a chance to recover, that they will continue to live in this circus, but their lives are constantly hanging in the balance. And it seems to me that even if the NPC is recreated, it will be a completely different character, even if you convince this model that he is the one. But anyway, although the circus is safe for people, terrible things can happen to them too. For example, scattering. We still do not know what it means. Death, or yet in this way the human soul is freed and its digital shell fails and dissolves. We still have a lot to learn, but so far our heroes perceive scattering as death and regularly hold memorial services for the departed, as if the person really died. And who knows, maybe it is, and that makes it even more creepy. You entered the circus, and there is no way out of it, only death, that is, dispersion. Well, your first death is, of course, the clown Kaufmo, whom we said goodbye to at the end of the second episode. Not much is known about him. According to other characters, he was the soul of the company and a very good guy. He made jokes, told jokes, and was very upset if they did not make someone laugh. He did not have any special psychological abnormalities. Perhaps his frustration lay in the fact that he kept all emotions to himself and tried to be constantly cheerful. This, by the way, is a bit like Ragatha's character, even though she tries to get angry at times. But Kaufmo, apparently, did not show any aggression at all, and maybe because he constantly kept his emotions to himself, he could dissipate. And so they say goodbye to him. It is a very sad and at the same time very important scene, showing that our heroes are united. Yes, not all of them. Jax is not among them, but otherwise they treat each other like people. Even in a seemingly hopeless situation, they remain human and do everything they can to survive in the circus so as not to go crazy. And even if one of them suffers the fate of scattering about him, they do not forget and try to save their memory. According to this logic, they should hold memorial services for other scattered people, especially since Regatta herself speaks about it. We are talking not only about Kaufmo, but also about the rest. I suppose they can regularly arrange such commemorations, and the character who has been in the circus the longest, he could well have known those old characters and told about them. And here, not only memory is passed from mouth to mouth, but pictures or photographs remain. Some things from old characters, eventually crossed out the rooms, do not disappear anywhere. Although this is quite strange, since the circus is digital, then perhaps the place of the departed should be vacated. Is not it so? Maybe this digital world has completely different rules, or maybe one of the characters asked Kane not to clean the rooms of the scattered ones, so that Kane would not confuse occupied rooms and empty ones. He could put crosses on the latter so that it would be obvious that some character once had this room. I'm not trying to predict the next plot right now, but even reasoning on this topic is a very thankless task, because again, we don't know what scattering means, but we're reasoning based on the information we have. And at the moment, dispersion is perceived by our heroes, and by the audience too, as death. And based on this, we can say that all the crossed out characters have died a long time ago, and the remaining heroes can only arrange such events. Although I also like the theory with crossed out doors, and not only because I came up with it. The second episode revealed the characters to us from a more human side, which is good news. Gloink Queen, perhaps, is the only way to call what he sees, what is unknown, what did not occur to him. I think she disappeared like her little minions, because they were all programmed to do it. Kane has added new monsters and a main boss. The task of the heroes was to defeat him, and in what way, apparently, it does not matter. If it wasn't for the dissipated Kaufmo who suddenly fell from the ceiling, how would they have defeated Gloink Queen, especially since they had a way to leave all this time? And if they just walked away, would it be considered completing a quest? Or did this escalator appear only after Gloink Queen was defeated? Let's assume that Kaufmo defeated her and maybe infected her with his glitch in such a way that she couldn't resist. In the end, a run-in with Kaufmo could simply destroy her, and it already looked like beating a corpse. Since we have a way out of the Gloink's location. After all, Gloinks themselves suddenly disappear, and it seems to me that they have not escaped anywhere. They just disappeared with their queen after the quest ended, just like they appeared out of nowhere just because Cain wanted them to. So it is quite possible to assume that Gloink Queen has died. Gumigoo is a character who was pitied by almost everyone. Many were shocked by what Cain did at the end. He just took it and deleted it. And long before that, Gumigoo was sure that now he would steal the syrup and take it to the village. And how many inner realizations and trials he had to go through. His world literally collapsed. He doesn't understand who he is and why he was created. He realized the meaninglessness of his existence. And then it's like a new world opens up for him instead of the old one that collapsed. Yes, he is an NPC, not a real one. But perhaps if he accepts reality as it is, he will be able to live with it. At the same time, he will have new friends. But that was not the case. The rules of this circus are such that artificial intelligence should not confuse real people with NPCs, and therefore he deletes them. And so, it would seem, the character had some chance for a new life, and he was stupidly deleted. Gumigoo himself didn't understand what happened, and now he just disappeared. By the way, the glitches on the channel and on Twitter have a very interesting image of Jax, Ragatha, Gangle, Zooble, and Kinger have finally received their reward, and these are candies, chewing gum, lollipops. And probably, this is their prize for adventures in Candy Canyon. Yes, they are given sweets in an original way for Candy Canyon, but apparently they are happy about this too. Even Gangle, with his mask of tragedy, seems to me to be smiling here and happy with the gift. Jax, of course, grabbed a whole package for himself, but that's not the point at all. The main detail of this image is in the distance. Pomni puts a photo of Gumigoo next to a photo of Kaufmo, as if paying tribute to her new friend, despite the fact that he is just an NPC and, as you may have noticed, she does not have any candy, lollipop, gum, or anything like that in her hands. And it seems to me that she just gave her lollipop to Zooble, since she was not involved in this adventure. Well, Pomni, this award was not particularly needed, but at least the plot of this picture seems to me like this. Pomni gave the lollipop to Zooble, and went to put a photo of Gumigoo next to a photo of Kaufmo. Fudge. Yes, I know he's not dead, but I just want us all to take another look at how he got hit on the head. But again, it is unclear whether he will be reborn after a while, or whether he turned off like that. Only something in the latter case smeared him a lot. Perhaps the fudge is sleeping in the same way, it spills like this. Now let's move on to more real deaths. If you think about it for a minute, it turned out to be a very creepy ending to the quest. Jax launches the fudge into the castle, and the fudge eats the inhabitants of this kingdom. Yes, I understand that this is just an NPC, but hearing these screams of horror and pain is not a pleasant thing, and Princess Lululalu herself, despite the fact that she was also very scared of an NPC. Now, thanks to Gumigoo, we still know that an NPC is capable of self-awareness, and just imagine the fear that gripped the whole kingdom when Fudge came in. It sounds kind of comical, but nevertheless, as for me, it was one of the most terrible moments. What moment do you remember the most? Write your opinion in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.